The South Atlantic Football League formed in 1936 along with the American Association, which we will get into, and the third AFL, which I did a video on. The original charter members were the Maryland Athletic Club, which then moved to DC and became the Washington Pros, the Baltimore Orioles or Blue Jays, depending, Norfolk Clancy's, Richmond Arrows, Portsmouth Cubs, and Alexandria Celtics, which were a traveling team with no real home city. Like the Yankees in the first AFL, the Richmond Arrows were the benefactor of the league in the first year. The Arrows had an amazing fan support as they played every game at home. They offered the visiting team a 5% bonus because of it. On November 15, 1936, Richmond's coach and the players walked out for more pay. The manager hired a new coach and basically a brand new team to finish the 1936 season. Baltimore's Ted Wright led scoring, and the Orioles also had the league passer Leroy Sunshine Campbell. The Pros beat the Arrows, and the Orioles beat the Celtics in the playoffs. Then the Pros beat the Orioles with a field goal. The SAFL went head-to-head with the AA champions, the Brooklyn Bay Parkways. The Pros defeated the Parkways at Richmond on January 1st, 1937. During the first season, the media called the league the Dixie League, so in 1937, before the second season, they adopted the name. Unlike other smaller leagues, the DL teams were strong for a second season. The players who walked out formed a new team called the Richmond Rebels and wanted to replace the Arrows. This did not happen, so they instead formed a new league called the Virginia-Carolina Football League. We might do a shorter video about that league as well. This season saw the rebranded Pros, now called the Washington Presidents, win the season with no playoffs. The Blue Jays came in second as the Arrows placed third. Ace Parker, who was in Canton, played one game with the Cubs before signing with the Brooklyn Dodgers in the NFL. In 1938, the DL made some changes. Charles Hamilton, the first president, was replaced with William Nichols Jr. The Blue Jays folded, and now the Washington Patriots became a traveling team after the Redskins moved into town. The founder of the Clancy's, A.E. Stutz, passed away in late 1937, and Harry Howren took over and started stockpiling talent. They also renamed the Clancy's to the Shamrocks. The Shamrocks went 5-1, winning the season with no playoffs again. The Arrows came in second, and the Cubs, going winless in 37, came in third. Every team had at least one win. After the season, the Shamrocks took on the Hazleton Redskins and lost to Hazleton 16-14 for the National Minor League Championship. In 1939, the Alexandria Celtics folded. They added the Newport News Builders that played their home games in Hampton, a neighboring town. Buck Miles became a MVP, and the Cubs finished in a tie for first. The Cubs signed Ace Parker for the championship game, and he scored the only touchdown in the whole game, winning 7-0, and the Cubs are the new league champions. The DL welcomed a new team called the Roanoke Travelers, returning to 6 teams for the first time in 2 years. Richmond was not able to compete for the title as they lost 2 games early and pushed them down the standings. The Cubs' Larry Weldon set a record by throwing 7 touchdowns in 10 games. The Presidents struggled as a traveling team and left the league after the season. The Cubs won a second league title. In 1941, the Dixie League had 6 teams with every team playing with a home field. The Charlotte Clippers of the Queen City in North Carolina replaced Washington in the fall of 41. As the dawn of war creeps closer, the DL benefited from the addition of more personnel from the military bases in the area. The Shamrocks won the league title again, with the Clippers coming in second and Newport coming in third, despite how many records they set and points they scored. The Dixie League suspended its operations after the 41 season. The league was in limbo from 42 to 46. The DL and its sister league, the American Association, along with the Pacific Coast Professional Football League, formed a compact called the Association of Professional Football Leagues. The APFL of 1946 entered a working compact with the NFL, disallowing players to sign with outlaw leagues. This lasted for 2 years. Okay, now let's take a sidestep with the Norfolk Shamrocks. The Norfolk Shamrocks owner, Harry Howren, disagreed with the decision of the league to suspend operations, and they opted to found the Virginia Football League for 1942. The teams for this inaugural season was the Shamrocks, the Newport News, the Richmond Rockets, and the Portsmouth Cubs. The News failed to make a team and canceled their season completely, and this league folded at the end of 1942. In this new working agreement, the DL teams lined up various sponsors with major pro football franchises. The DL and third AFL teams were not farm teams like the NHL and MLB teams. The NFL could not raid teams, and there was no stockpiling of talent. In In addition to Greensboro, the Cubs became the Pirates, and the Arrows adopted the Rebels nickname. The Dixie League in 1946 had a tight race between the Clippers and Rebels, but the Clippers won out. A new president was inaugurated. The Greensboro Patriots moved to Winston-Salem. The Travelers returned to replace Newport News, and plans were being made for an expansion in 1948. Before the season, the Patriots and Rebels withdrew, making the league 4 teams. The week after opening day, they suspended operations. The Pirates transferred from Charles Everson to a group in Charlottesville, with the team transferring back to Alberson in 1948. The Rebels then blindsided the league by buying the assets of their sister league, the 3rd AFL. Tom Haynes tried to protest the NFL and APFL, but no one could really do anything. There were discussions too, but the Dixie League was not seen as viable anymore. The Clippers continued as an independent team through 1949, while the Pirates and Shamrocks combined forces to also be independent. The Rebels, an original charter member, continued the AFL of 1946 and the implosion in 1950. The Rebels then petitioned to join the All-American Football Conference, which we will get to. Their merger negotiations ended that conversation almost instantly. In 1946, 4 Virginia-based teams formed an all-black league, making it a segregated Dixie League. The league lasted 1 season and is mostly remembered for playing against HBCUs, Virginia Union, Virginia State, and Norfolk State. Fred Cooper, who played on the Richmond Rams, would eventually become the first black player on the Richmond Rebels after they moved to the AFL in 1949. This league had the aforementioned Rams, the Norfolk Brown Bombers, the Newport News, Lighthearts, and the Portsmouth Swans. The Rams were crowned league champions after beating the Brown Bombers. This was their only season. Thank everybody for watching. What did you think about the Dixie League? Do you think we could revive this league eventually in the future? Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. I will see you Thursday.